how do you know if a man loves you? We're going to talk about when a man says he loves you to when a man actually does love you. Okay? So, the love language of men is not through words. The actual love language of men is through their actions. Okay? So, when a man loves you, he loves you with his life. What does that mean? His life is made up of the material things he has accumulated. You see, a man's pride is deeply tied to the money he makes. Yeah, the things that he owns. So, when a man actually loves you, he will not only put his money there, but he will invest with everything that his life is. That means his money, that means his time, his effort, his energy. All right? So, let's break it down. Let me start with a quick story. So, my cousin has been with a man for 6 or 7 years of her life. And she has reached a point where she is super upset that he doesn't want to marry her. Now, she's known this from day one. Okay? Now, she's reached a point where she's done. And you know why? Because the guy says he loves her to death. He loves her to pieces. Okay? But when a man actually loves you, he will give you everything about his life. He will invest with his life. That means he will financially and legally want to bind himself to you to give you half of what he has, half of what he owns. Obviously, if it's somebody that has nothing, well, that's a different topic, right? So a man that is not giving you half of what he owns, half of his salary, half of everything he owns on paper, he does not love you. Okay? If he doesn't legally and financially bind himself to you, he does not love you. Why? Because he's not caring about your safety. What would happen in the event that he died? Yeah? Who will inherit everything that he owns? His mom, his sister, or you and your unborn children? Yeah? So let that sink in. Say you live in a country where there's no common law. Hold on. You're in a non-common law country and he dies and you're pregnant and his mom and his sister inherit everything he has. Okay? Again, if you're dating a poor man, that's a different story. But anyway, imagine that. Okay? But let me talk to you about another story. So, I came to Canada on a work permit. Long story short, when my husband proposed, we were going to marry soon. Very soon, right? So, he proposed at 3.5 months in, and we got married at 6 months. Everyone in his family and his friends told him, oh, no, you shouldn't marry her, especially so soon, because she's marrying you for like permanent residence in Canada. She's marrying you for papers. What a ratchet thing to say. And he didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a shit about any of that. Yeah? He went ahead and he married me and he sponsored me to have Canadian permanent residence and citizenship, right? We've been married now for 15 years. A man who loves you wants to marry you yesterday, okay? He invests his time, all his effort, and everything he owns, and that he will futurely own, if that word even exists. Okay, so the man who is telling you that he loves you and he chooses you every single day and he's using you as a roommate, yeah, did he marry you? Did he bind himself legally and financially to you? Are his assets your assets? Is it a true choice? Yeah? Or is it what he's telling you to use you while he learns to make money and you pay half of the rent, if not all of it, right? So I'll make a separate video about this, but for example, you know how men love to ghost, right? Women get flabbergasted about it and they want to have a closing talk and, you know, like a big closure. And anyway, I was saying that women love to talk about shit and love to hear stuff. But men, the way they communicate with you is via their actions. The greatest example is, you know how women love to talk about how, you know, a relationship ends or why, you know, you don't want to see each other anymore. Men ghosting is a perfect example of how they communicate. They simply, with their actions, are telling you, we're not a match, kindly move to the next one, right? Women want to say it through words. Men want to say it through their actions. That's how men speak. So when you hear a man telling you that he loves you, yada, yada, fucking yada, what does he do for you? The husband that shows up day in and day out for his family, yeah, providing and protecting. This is the husband telling his family with his life that he loves them. Okay? So, you know, if you're with someone and he hasn't married you, you know, and again, men that love you will want to marry you very, very quickly. They'll propose to you very, very quickly. They don't try you out. They don't make you audition. They don't make you like prove yourself and show you're not a fucking maniac or a scammer or a lunatic. They don't have you prove anything. Why? Because they're very good at reading you and like, you know, sizing you up, whatever. Right? So please understand that loving means I love you with my life. Okay? From, you know, when we're talking about men loving you, I love you with my life means investing money, time, effort, energy, assets, okay, into you and your unborn children, protecting you, providing for you. So words, they're a dime a dozen and gone with the wind, and words are for women. Women love words, so that's why they use them. So anyway, I'll see you on the next. Now, for those of you who are done wasting time, who are done with the men who say all this stuff and nothing to show for those who are ready to get engaged, this is where Venus incarnate comes into play. You will learn the skill of selection, the art of discernment. The skill of selection is the skill that will stop you from being single forever, because it will teach you to select the men that actually love you and who are worth dating even 3 months. The 3 months it takes for a man to either be in or out. Okay? It's a journey that will get you engaged within 90 days, right? And where you will learn to embody the type of woman who gets the ring fast. And of course, you'll rule out all the men that are, talkers, which is literally part of the skill of selection. So there's a link in the description. Let me know in the comments if you are done with time wasters that say they choose you every day, yet they run at the thought of marriage. So I'll see you on the next Now for sure.